Hi, from Wellington, New Zealand. Good afternoon. My name is Karen Stroschnitter and I am a coach who uses mindfulness to help people find their freedom. It's lovely to have you here. Hi Sam, how fantastic to have you here. Great. Wonderful. Hi, Mr. Man of Mystery. Hi. Hi. So I'm going to get straight into it. I've been talking about in the moment mindfulness practices because I work with busy people in the corporate world who find that meditation is often not for them. So I begin just by using in the moment practices so that they can attach it to things that they do regularly and routinely in their everyday lives. And the little practice that I want to talk to you about today is, hi Brooke, is just reconnecting with your breath or feeling your feet on the floor. Now, it may sound really simplistic and actually a little bit silly, but the busy lives that we lead today mean that we're often dashing off in all directions and we're basically lost in thought. And when we're lost in thought, we tend to get a bit more stressed and we're not present. We forget to stop and breathe. We forget to actually come back to the present moment and what's happening now. So the last little mini mindful practice that I want you to try out is just coming back to the breath or actually feeling your feet on the floor. Now, I've given you a lot of these little mini mindfulness practices. In fact, I will just go through them all. The first one that I did was to eat mindfully, which is to actually just savor your food mouthful by mouthful instead of inhaling your food, which is what we tend to do today because we're very, very busy. So the mindful practice of slowly eating your food means that you tend to enjoy it more, thanks to the hearts, and you eat less, which is usually a good thing. The second one that I talked to you about was listening differently. Usually when we're in a conversation, we can find that we're lost in our own minds thinking about our reply instead of actually listening what the other person is saying or listening to the other person. So another mini mindful practice is just to put all your attention on listening to what the other person is saying. People will love you for it and your relationships will improve considerably. The third little in the moment mindful practice that I suggested was when you go outside, look up. How often do you walk along a busy street and you see people and they're not there, they're dashing madly from A to B, and the simple practice of actually just stopping and looking up and reconnecting with where you are is a great stress reduction technique. The fourth one was laugh at life. Now this one was around life's little irritations that occur. And you know when something happens, and usually something happens every day, and you just start to bubble up with a little bit of annoyance, not a major emotion, but just a little irritation. A great practice is to actually ask yourself, before you get taken over by that irritation, hi to those that have joined, is this really going to matter in 10 years time? Now, more often than not, it won't. So breathe, let it go. Great little practice. Laugh at life, I call it. The fifth one, which is probably my most favorite in the moment mindfulness little technique, is to connect with people. Now, I don't mean people we know, I mean people we don't know, and shop assistants are great for this. Just by stopping and smiling and looking a shop assistant in the eye, watch how they transform. It feels good and they will feel good too. So try it out. Shop assistants are safe people to actually practice this on. There are some places where you don't practice that, by the way, but shop assistants, great time to practice connecting. The next one I talked about was focusing on one task at a time. We tend to brag about our ability to multitask today, and we can't. In fact, our brain can't multitask, it must multi-shift. And if we're doing more than one thing at a time and we're multi-shifting, we're exhausting our brain because it has to keep flipping back and forth. A great in the moment mindfulness practice is just to focus on one task at a time. Now, You may need to turn a bit of technology off. Hi, all of you that are here. Great to see you here. You might need to turn your technology off or tell somebody you'll attend to their request later. But simply focusing on one task at a time is a great mini mindful practice. Doing things like the washing up, giving your complete attention to it, can even make a chore feel quite pleasurable. The next one I talked about was number 7, was showering mindfully. When we're in the shower, we usually shower on autopilot. We go through the same routine every day, lost in our heads, thinking about the day ahead of us. A great little mini mindful practice is actually just to shower. Break it up, change it up, shower in a different sequence. Wash a different body part first. Feel the warm water. Actually bring yourself back to here. The 8th one was savouring the moment. In that one, I talked about the fact that our brains are built 5 to 1 in favour of risk. I'm getting there. Where are we getting at? I'm getting at all these little practices don't need to take any more time. The people that I work with often find that they're busy, they're stressed, they want a practice that will work for them. They've heard of meditation and it just doesn't feel right for them. So they want something that doesn't take any more time. It's just not another thing they need to do to their to-do list. So I get people to practice these short little in-the-moment mindfulness exercises that you can attach to your everyday activity. So it's not something else you need to do. You just do things a bit differently. Why would you want to do those things a bit differently? Great, you're welcome. Why would you want to do things a bit differently? Because if you're busy and you're lost in your head and you're not present, then life isn't so great. You miss out on life. It's not much fun, and it does tend to stress us out over time. So I've created these little 10 in-the-moment mini mindfulness practices that don't take any more time, and you can just associate them with your everyday routine things and have a bit of fun with it. Find your freedom. Find that freedom in your head that's actually available to you. So the 8th one was savouring the moment, and I started talking about how our brains are programmed 5 to 1 for risk. So when good things happen to us, we tend to skim over them and we're on the alert for things going wrong, which is a normal adaptive thing. It keeps us safe. However, it does mean that we miss out on life's little pleasurable moments. So what I'm suggesting to you is when something nice happens to you, you get a nice hug, you get a compliment or whatever, that you stay with it, you savor the experience, you just be with it a little bit longer. Spend a few more moments in your happy place. The last one, or the last 2, is just remembering to pause and breathe or feel your feet on the floor. Now, all of these practices are great. The really interesting thing is, though, hi to those that have just joined, is that we forget to do them. How can we remember to do them? And of course, we can't. If we've spent 20, 30, 40 years not doing them, not being present, scattered and captured and all over the place, just by deciding we want to be more mindful, we want to be more present, it's not going to work. So please attach these little mini mindful moments to your routine everyday experiences, like every time you stand up from sitting down, every time you go through a doorway, every time you walk on the stairs, every time you go outside. Anything that works for you, any little trigger, every time you go to the bathroom, anything that will actually remind you to practice these little in-the-moment mindfulness practices. They give you your freedom. So look, my cell phone's just told me my battery is low. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to be talking about mindfulness every day. If you want to connect with me on Twitter and ask me any questions, please do. I will respond to you. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. My name is Karine Stroschnitter. I am a coach and a few other things as well, and I am coming to you from Wellington in New Zealand. And I'm going to say bye for now. Thanks for being here, guys. Bye. See ya. Thanks. Bye.